Well, today is the day. It is the last day of the month and the last day of the year. This is the time to get those super special deals. So in this video, I'm going to outline what you should do today to get the best possible deal and make sure that you don't get taken advantage of. So we're going to try to, answer some important questions like what should you say to the dealer? What should you have prepared before you go into the dealer? And, some other important questions like, will Ben ever shave his beard? Will he ever pop the pimples on his forehead? Well, let's try to find all this out in today's video. But as always, before we get into it, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. So before you go into the dealer today, you need to have quite a bit of information prepared ahead of time so you can make sure that you get the best possible deal and, that you make sure that you buy the car that actually meets your needs. So speaking of that, you need to know exactly what vehicle you're buying. Don't just blindly go into the dealership today and just try to find a car to purchase or try to find a deal, right? You need to know the exact vehicle that you're planning on purchasing, and you need to know everything about it. So the options that vehicle has, and also you need to know the MSRP in that vehicle if it's brand new, and then also the invoice. So then you know roughly how much markup there is with that vehicle. So you know how much you could potentially negotiate off of the price. And then if there are any rebates that apply to that vehicle, you also need to know about that so that the dealer doesn't try to show the rebates as discount, whereas they're not actually discounting the vehicle, right? And then if there are any subvented rates in the vehicle, you also need to know about that ahead of time. If it's a used car, you need to know the retail value and also the wholesale value. So then you know roughly how much markup there is with that vehicle. So then again, you have a place to negotiate from that is reasonable enough so that the dealer will take you seriously and not just try to kick you out instantly because you make an offer that's way below wholesale value on the car. Once you have that information together, what you also need to get together is have a pre-approval if you're planning on financing a vehicle. Now, this is something that hopefully you would have done a few days ago or potentially, maybe a couple of weeks ago. But lending institutions understand that people, sometimes want to rush and buy a car before the end of the year. And so they actually will typically work with you and help you get a pre-approval at a pretty quick pace if your credit is obviously good enough. If it's not so great, then yeah, you might be in a situation that you're out of luck and you're not going to be able to just jump in and buy a car today. And so again, that's why you would have wanted to have done that a few days ago. But anyways, make sure you have that in line so then you know the interest rate that you qualify for, the loan amount that you qualify for. So then when you go into the dealership, you don't have to deal with them playing games with both of those items where they try to sell you on too much car and then also frankly try to show you an interest rate that is higher than what you actually qualify for. The next bit of information you're gonna need is the value on your vehicle if you're trading in a vehicle. So get your car appraised by multiple dealers tomorrow. Basically just go in and just have them appraise your car right away because again, this is something where it's pretty time sensitive. So then you know what multiple dealers will offer for your car, and then also plug in your information into online buying sites like Vroom, like Carvana. So then you have, again, multiple offers on your car. So you know roughly what it's worth. So then when you go into the dealer that you're going to buy a car from, you don't get taken advantage of and, basically have them offer a super small amount in your car and then you take it because you're just trying to get that, end of the year deal. So have that prepared in advance as well. So you've got your pre-approval from a lending institution. You know exactly what vehicle that you are planning on buying, and you know roughly how much markup there is going to be in that vehicle, and then you know what your trade-in should be. And with this information, you are very well prepared to go in and negotiate a solid deal for yourself at the end of the year, because this means that you can ask top dollar for your trade-in, and then you can obviously ask quote unquote bottom dollar for their vehicle. If it's a brand new vehicle, then hey, you can offer them invoice. You can even, go ahead and offer them below invoice. You can say, hey, I know you guys need to move some units at the end of the year. Let's get this deal done at this price. And then if it's a used car, well, again, end of the year, hey, do you guys want to move this unit or not before next year where that vehicle is going to be worth even less money? Because we all know wholesale values are going to decline at a pretty large rate once January 1st hits because, 2023 and everyone sees it as a doom and gloom year. And so what I'd have to say is the big thing with tomorrow is it doesn't hurt to ask. Just make an offer. Yes, your offer might be declined, but it's better to ask than to not ask and just, sign because the dealer says this is what you have to pay for a vehicle. And then the next thing that you need to do for yourself is put yourself in a position where you do not feel like you're going to be missing out if you don't buy a car today. I think this is a huge issue is people go in and they spend the time and effort it takes to get their car appraised and, talk to multiple dealers to, try to negotiate some sort of deal. And they feel like because they've spent all of this time, they have to buy something. They have to get something out of the situation. And I understand that it's super painful to not get anything out of a situation when you've spent the time that it takes to put together a car purchase. But trust me, in the future, you will thank yourself if you do not purchase a car if the deal doesn't make sense. So be willing to walk away tomorrow if a dealer isn't willing to make you a deal. Now, again, chances are most dealers, especially new car dealers, will be willing to make a deal because they want to meet end of the year quotas for not only the dealership, but for managers, for sales staff. Like there are quotas for everyone at dealers. And so they're going to do everything they can to help meet all of those quotas. And that's why frankly, a lot of people will take advantage of December 31st as a buying day at dealers. So let's say that you have your deal put together on the vehicle that you want to purchase. The dealer is selling it for the price that you want. They're giving you what you want for your trade-in, and the interest rate is in line because, again, you got your pre-approval, so you know exactly what you qualify for. Well, you still have to deal with the finance manager, and here's the great news. Finance managers hate and love the last day of the month / last day of the year. Obviously, it gives them a chance to swing at some more deals so they can potentially make some more money. But it's also crunch time where they're going to have to sign a bunch of customers. And this is something that you can seriously use to your advantage. The finance manager is not going to want to spend a bunch of time with you because they don't want to be at the dealership until 2 a.m. in the morning on January 1st. And so you can just tell the finance manager no at the beginning. Like if you don't want to buy the warranty stuff, just tell them no and say, don't waste your time. Just do this whole spiel for the next customer. And what you then could follow that up with, if you for some reason want the extended coverage, but you don't want to overpay for it, you could say, hey, here's the deal. I'll make this easy on you. Sell me the coverage at cost, dead cost, and I'll consider buying it. If not, I'm not interested whatsoever. And just make it simple and say, I want to save you time. I want to save me time. Let's just do this in that format. And I think that you'll be shocked because, again, you have to understand the mental state that these finance managers are going to be in. They're going to be super stressed, and they're going to have all these deals in front of them. They're going to want to get them done. And frankly, they're going to have, the sales managers, the general manager, and the owner of the store all yelling at them to get those deals done so they can have everything on the books for the 2022 sales year. So because they're going to be so stressed out, you can, take advantage of that stress as a consumer to either get yourself a really good deal on the warranties if you want them, or to just frankly not have to have those warranties shoved down your throat because they're not going to want to deal with a customer they have to sit down with for an hour to 2 hours to convince them to purchase a warranty. And then the final thing that I want to add is going to be accessories on vehicles. So obviously dealers will sometimes install accessories on vehicles, or maybe you want to have accessories installed on your vehicle. Again, this is a great time to get better deals on these accessories if you want them, or to just have them taken off if you don't want them, because you have to remember, dealers want to make deals at the end of the year. And so you as a consumer can kind of throw this in, and you'd want to do this like at the beginning of the deal. You don't want to try to do this while you're in the finance office, because at that point it's just going to be a lot of brain damage for you and for the dealership. You want to do this up front, but you can just tell the dealer, hey, I'll do this if you throw in, I don't know, maybe you're buying a truck and you're like, if you throw in some, crazy tires with it, or if, a vehicle has, I don't know, window tint or something on it that you don't really like, you say, here's the deal. I'll buy this vehicle, but I want you to pay for the window tint that you put on the vehicle. Again, end of the month, end of the year, it never hurts to offer, especially when it comes to accessories that have been added to a vehicle. So in summary, there are definitely going to be some great deals to be had today on the last day of the month and the last day of the year. But you need to be fully prepared to actually take advantage of these deals, because if you go into the dealership uneducated and not with all of the information on hand, then you definitely won't get the best possible deal that you can manage. Because you have to remember, the people at dealerships are professionals at negotiating, because, well, they sell cars for a living. Like that's what they do for a living, is negotiate with customers. And so if you think that you can just go in and you can, win them over with your suave negotiating skills, well, you're wrong, because unless you're in a sales job yourself, you're not going to be negotiating on a daily basis like these salesmen are. And frankly, you're not going to be negotiating on a daily basis with cars because you probably don't sell a car, right? If you sell cars, then you're just going to buy it from your own dealership. So the point that I'm trying to make here is information is everything. The more information you have, the better you're going to be in a situation where you're trying to take advantage of an end of the year deal. But understand that the end of the year deal doesn't have to be like the end all be all. Like it might not be that. Like there are going to be more deals next year. Like there's as long as the earth keeps spinning in a circle, then like there are always going to be more car deals in the future. And so if the deal doesn't make sense, then just don't do it. Don't get into that mind state of FOMO where you're like, if I don't buy a car now, then I'm never going to get this deal in the future. It's like that deal is probably going to be a thing that'll happen again sometime in the future. It's just if it makes sense for you now, then it makes sense for you now. Like if you have to get a new vehicle, or there's all sorts of circumstances that could push you to want to get a vehicle right now rather than later. But like I said, like 3 times in this little section, make sure the deal makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, simply just walk away. That's going to sum things up for today's video. Hopefully this helps you all out on the last day of the month and the last day of the year. And well,